Dear colleagues, our session is about to resume. We kindly invite you to return to your seats. Thank you.
So good afternoon, everyone. I hope you had a very good lunch time. Yeah, and so our session resume. So the topic of the afternoon, the first afternoon, first topic of the afternoon session is the listening to stakeholders and the Codex observer. And we have we have the observer organization and the FIA experience as Codex observer presented by Sharira Isaac. Uh, you hear? Okay, so please. And I recall the next the Codex strategic plan 2036 and to 2031. That strategic plan include the four goals, and one of them is to strengthen the relationship between the Codex members and observers. So I think this the session and this presentation will help our relationship between the Codex members and observers strength. Yeah. So thank you. Welcome, please.
Hi everyone, Assalamualaikum and good morning. Firstly, how do you left and right? Okay, thank you very much. Sorry. Firstly, thank you very much for giving FIA a chance to share our experience as a Codex observer. Of course, I hope today you'll find this sharing useful. And personally, for me, for the last 2 days, it's very good interest and interesting that to see the perspective of the Codex contact point. So before I start, I'll just share a bit about who is FIA, what we do, and how do we work around as a Codex observer. So, Food Industry Asia, we are based in Singapore with an office in Kuala Lumpur. And as you can see, we have a wide range of members. And the members rate are from ingredient companies, brands, and also packaging companies. So we bring in a lot and in-depth of experience, and the knowledge are from our members. Um, like I mentioned, our office is in Kuala Lumpur and Singapore. I'm based in Kuala Lumpur, and I do have colleagues that are based in Philippines and Indonesia. So, and how we work is we don't work alone. We work collaboratively with other industry association like FTI in Thailand, Philippines, and also Singapore. We are all this organization, and we also work with other uh, expert um, expert bodies on the topics that are of interest of our member. So you can see our connection with not just the National Industry Association in Asia, but it also with the other NGOs, organization, academician, and also international bodies, which are partnering with FIA on topics of our interests. So coming back to Codex and how we work. So for example, if I were to quote in the last CCCF meeting, okay, okay, in the last CCCF meeting, let's quote an example about acrylamide that was discussed in the CCCF meeting, and how does we work with our members and also our key opinion leaders. So we will first look at the topics that are shared through the Codex forum, and then if for example, acrylamide, and what we do is we identify among the secretariats, do we have the knowledge? And who else can we lean on to gather the knowledge so that we can bring in the topics to with the correct position that reflects the readiness and science-based information in our position. So what we do is we go back to the scientific documents, the journals, and we look at acrylamide. Is the analysis something that is achievable or can be duplicated within the Asia region? And do our members and our connection through the regulators, do they have the knowledge? So similarly to PFAS, do the regulators and also do our members have the ability to have the methods to analyze to make sure that we are able to comply should that limit be reviewed and identified level? So that's very, very important for us industry. And then we look at also our members, what are their concern relating to like acrylamide or PFAS? Is it more because they are not able to achieve, or is it because of the analytical test method, or is there other topics that are of their concern? So before the Codex meeting happened, or even during receiving the document through EWG, we will work firstly with our members, we will look through existing scientific and data available, and we'll also connect with our key opinion leaders, for example, the other association and also academician. So we will connect with them to formulate what we will then come out as a position. And then we will attend either through the plenary meeting to give our position, or we also work through the EWG, right? And looking back at the list, should we identify that, for example, myself as a secretary, I don't have the knowledge, who else can I get? And that's where we go back to the capacity building, either through the secretariat, delivering getting the knowledge, or we get it from our members or the academician or even any other expert panels. And that's where we will then go to the position. Once the Codex meeting has happened and a decision has been formed through CAT or even like CCCF, then my job as a secretary is to review that and go back to our members. Is this aligned with the interests? Is there any topics that we should, as industry, bring on to the regulators to bring awareness with them? So, and the end outcome that we want is very much to ensure that the Codex guideline and also standards are transparent and it can build trust. Because like it or not, as an industry, we face a consumer. So if I were to quote one product as an example, we are the one, our FIA members are the one that sell the product. And if quoting like the ultra processed food definition, the consumer don't understand that the first person that will be the front lining to face the consumer is our member. So the consumer may not understand. They will ask us industry, and even worse, they'll ask, is this food bad? Right? Will coffee kill us because of acrylamide? Or is this something that we can safely take? So transparency and trust is very important for our member. And secondly, it will also give us the overview to get ready on that guideline so that when it's translated to the national legislation, our member is able to trade, right? And finally, what is the most important thing is the guideline that has been developed in Codex and the standard, what we wish for, it has to be science-based and also can be applied where it's being commercialized. So for example, if you talk about additive, a level of the additive, is it something that is able to be applied? And will there be any technical issues when the product is commercialized? So these are the key things that is very important and how we would like to, where as a secretariat and when we go to the Codex meeting and when we prepare a position for our member, we bear in these three key points, which are transparency and trust, readiness to trade, and finally, whatever decision has to be science-based and able to be practiced when it's commercialized into the products. And finally, yesterday I shared a long list about our challenges, but today I want to share about what FIA can contribute to support, especially in the upcoming CC Asia. So firstly, as you can see, FIA has a wide range of members, ranging from ingredient, finished products. Also, we have members that are actually have the lab analysis capability. So here we can actually leverage on each other's strength and extend the technical knowledge either from us learning from regulators, what are your challenges like the last 2 days, and also for regulators to lean on us in providing the scientific knowledge. And the second part is about expanding stakeholder engagement. Here it's not just about me meeting you, but it's more also us as a channel for the regulators to flow the information to our members. For example, many companies won't have the resources to read through the Codex document, to go through the Codex report. So that's where FIA plays a role, that we participate in the meeting, we go through the discussion, then we go back to our members. Hey, by the way, the last CCFA meeting, this was discussed, and these are the topics that are emerging. You guys need to get ready and be prepared when these are being finalized. These are the consequences. So this is where FIA carries value as an observer in Codex. And finally, strengthen national and regional capacity. As we are representing the opinion of Asia, this is where we can bring meaning to the CC Asia and also to other Codex meeting. For example, when we talk about analytical test method, it may be very advanced in Europe. But based on our engagement with the regulators in this part of the world, we know it's still under development. And if Codex were to come up with a level and our regulators needs more time to come up with the analytical test method and also the ability to carry out the test, then it may not be pragmatic for this part of the world. Also, for example, in terms of ultra-processed food, my colleague earlier quote about my local delicacy, my go-to food whenever I'm stressed, nasi lemak. As a working mother, I can't go through the things that my grandmother did, like coming out with the old coconut milk. I just cut, open, cook. And that means even though at kitchen, I carry on with processed food, right? So we carry on the meaning for Asia and we can translate that to the policy developed within the Asia country. So that's the end of my slide. Happy to further discuss. Thank you. Oh, you can come over. I'm sitting over there until the end of the day. Happy to discuss further.
So, thank you very much for this great overview, Ms. Sharilla, and also great to see this level of engagement of the food industry sector with the regulators community, and definitely also your openness to collaborate in areas pertaining to development of positions and inspiring these positions with data, with information, with scientific evidence that can serve the delegations from the CC Asia membership. We're continuing, in fact, a discussion now on how best and how we can make the positions of CC Asia members stronger with a more structured and hopefully more effective even engagement with the stakeholder community. This is really what we are dedicating the next part of our agenda towards. In this regard, I mean, we have prepared in the same fashion to structure really your input. We have prepared a small questionnaire for guided discussions. We invite you to do it also as part of table discussions. I'm going to ask actually my colleagues perhaps to showcase the questionnaire on the screen. basically what we would like to capture from this is already an idea about the current practices that are underway to harness stakeholder involvement in the development of your Codex positions, in the development of your Codex programs. Then what we would like to do is to look at what are the regional experience that we can leverage. So for example, as a result of some subgroups within the CC Asia membership. So for example, ASEAN countries. So you see here, if we go down to the questionnaire for day 3. It's just yeah, we have it now. Yeah. We'll get there. So basically, the second section is really about regional experiences to leverage, and looking at what models exist, perhaps. So, for example, the ASEAN Task Force, the ASEAN Codex Task Force. We know it exists. We know it's actually a forum for engagement between the countries themselves. But there might be structures of engagement with other stakeholders, with other Codex observers, and how can that be leveraged? And the third section is really about opportunities for more systematic engagement. Looking really now, looking forward, what do you think and how do you think we should structure stakeholder engagement for the preparation of Codex positions in a better manner, not only at the national level, but perhaps more at the regional level? So this is under section 3. So these opportunities of systematic engagement. And you have a number of options there about mechanisms that you might suggest that we could think of in order to structure this engagement, including regional dialogue platforms, any type of roundtables that you may think of. So again, you don't have to answer every element, but these are suggestions just to inspire you in terms of opportunities for structured engagement. And we have then a section related to capacity building and building, in fact, on what was mentioned by our FIA colleagues, thinking of what tools, what practices that could be applied based on what is already practiced within the region, but what you may think could be further developed in order to have more inclusiveness and a better representation from the multi-stakeholder community in shaping the Codex positions of CC Asia members. Thinking even of facilitation tools, like online platforms that could be thought of, because again, there are online platforms that are applied in the Codex website, but why not something that could be applicable between yourselves or amongst yourselves? And finally, looking at some action planning. So really trying to bring things full circle, what we've been talking about over the last couple of days. What are the priority areas where you think there is even more value in stakeholder engagement and supporting the Codex programs of your countries, of your delegations, and these topics that we can bring forward for multi-stakeholder discussions? So that's actually under section 5 to provide some action planning. So same way here, we can proceed with, are you okay to proceed with this? It shouldn't take long. As I mentioned, you don't have to answer every question or fill every box. These are simply proposals for you, things to inspire you. The finality of the exercise is, how can we make your Codex programs even more effective than they are through a stronger multi-stakeholder engagement processes? That's really the finality of the exercise. So can we proceed? And I don't know, would 30 minutes be enough to do this? 30 minutes, I think, would be enough because, again, we don't need to answer every question. And then we're going to have just some reporting, perhaps facilitated by yourselves. We'll discuss that. And that's going to be really the last exercise supporting us in looking forward for the next period of the work of the CC Asia community. So 30 minutes of table work. Again, for delegation, perhaps from countries, if you have two people from the same delegation, if you can mix to really support more engagement. Also, given that we're talking about multi-stakeholder engagement here, I'm inviting our Codex observers to mix with the country tables. So if you wish to join one of the tables, you know, this is really a representation of the inclusiveness of the process. So there are 4 or 5 of you. If you can basically share yourselves amongst the table, I'm sure you'll be warmly welcome. Thank you. And colleagues, you may have witnessed that we are maybe fast tracking a little bit the program. And this is also to account for the fact that a couple of our colleagues, particularly from the delegation of Brunei, will have to leave tonight. And in order to allow them to basically catch their flight on time, we might be trying to push the agenda a little bit forward. Turn. Nobody. So I need somebody else on turn. So you see. So basically, I have one. We all used up. We're all used up. So I'm using all the time people. When did you start? Yeah. Okay, so turn. So you know what? Then 50 people. Before I post, I will have time. After this, I will have time. So I'm going to repeat for this. Then the chair system. Then system, then turn, then I off, then change. Then I mean will say this and the other up. And then I'm going to do and then after that, I really then afterwards, have everybody take one. I will get a one, yes, and then probably go through the. Actually, I will say this. So we take the photos here. So this is the photo. Then I would say 2 words for the photo to thank everybody, and probably will do the photo. Okay. So. But actually, I'm gonna say I'm gonna say as long as they know who they are representing, as long as they know. Okay. So like as long as they know. So basically, we have the first one is represented again. Then after that, we represented CC Asia. So that's the CC Asia. That's fine. Then we're gonna have. Then we're gonna have this stuff. Then we're gonna have firm.
Good. Yeah, and this, and you.
Ah, okay. Okay. Clear right now? Clear? You're ready? That's amazing. Look at that. She's ready. Everyone's ready. I was ready. We have to. Madam Moderator, you can invite later. Okay. Every spokesperson.
Yeah, I will invite the spokesperson up to the stage so that we can report your group work. And this time, may I expect more gentlemen up to the stage?
Gender equity in the reviews. You know, last session, so you know.
So many questions. How many groups do we have?
6 normally.
Yeah, at least we should have 5.
Yeah.
5 spokesperson.
So for this one of those people. You're hiding, but you are under scrutiny.
Can we have a representative from the stakeholder? Yeah, I think that's a table of stakeholder.
You want an opinion like it? It is, but you know what? We're kind of correcting what.
I'm only minor.
Universal.
You are in the center of the world.
I am minor here. Yeah.
Okay.
And thank you for the volunteers and to report your group work outcome. So before we proceed with our like group work reporting, can you just briefly introduce yourself and your group members? From this end. Yeah.
Okay, my name is Nuri and I represent Group 1. I'm from Indonesia and our group consists of Bangladesh, China, and also colleague from Observer from Malaysia.
I'm Dr. Tinsa from Myanmar. Our group represents Nepal, Myanmar, Maldives, Mongolia, Thailand, and Japan.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Inamul Haq. I representing here one group, and I'm privileged to be here. My sincere thanks to all of my fellows, those who put their trust on me. And my team is consist particularly Bangladesh, Brunei, Bhutan, Myanmar, Malaysia, and one observer organization, Food Industries Association, Singapore. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Latifah, and I'm from Indonesia, and I'm representing my group in table 2. We have from Japan, and then Laos, Malaysia, and Brunei. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Joanna Skinner from the International Council of Beverages Associations, representing, I'm not sure what our table number is, but we are a group of primarily stakeholders, the Thai stakeholder groups, and then the Beverages Association.
I'm Eleanor, and I'm representing the table with Sri Lanka, Philippines, Singapore, and Japan.
Thank you. And pay attention that I will not ask each question, and I would just, briefly ask your kind of experience or comments on some kind of key issues. First of all, I would like to know in your country or according to the discussion in your group, the group members in their country, do they have a kind of a well-developed kind of multi-stakeholder platform to everybody can join and to discuss the Codex issue?
Thank you. As we discussed in our group, I think we have similar situation for mechanism and also practices. We also involve the stakeholders like academia and also industry. Like for Indonesia, we held a meeting prior to the committee session or the commission session. We involve the industry and also academia. It is also applied in the Bangladesh for some priorities committees. There are pesticide, fresh fruit, and vegetable. The national committee will also invite the academia and in the industry association. Expert from the industry also invited to the joint technical committee, and CCP also share the information to the related stakeholders. And in Malaysia is also have quite similar this mechanism. The National Codex Committee will share the information, CL, draft standard, and all, etc. And they will have a meeting to make a national position. And in China is also similar with Malaysia, and we do these mechanism and practices to have a transparent and inclusiveness with the stakeholders.
Yes, in our group discussion, every member country has established a national Codex committee that include a representative of the key stakeholders like industry, academia, and a consumer group. and stakeholders such as food industry, academia, and competent authorities. However, it comes to the emerging priorities such as novel food, food allergens, and food contact material. Stakeholder engagement is not yet inclusive enough, but additional expertise is needed.
In our group discussion, you will find most of the countries have national codex committees exist, but it's not well functioning. As well as under this national codex committee, there are lots of technical committees or schedules committees with engagement of national level experts and community experts and align with codex subsidiary bodies. So exist, but it's not well functioning and regularized. That is a very big challenge in our group.
Okay, from our discussions, I think we have general scheme for involving stakeholder in Codex-related processes. Most of us is when we're receiving Codex document, we discuss internally first, and then we kind of distribute when we want to request for comments or data collection, and then we will. If necessary, we will do a physical meeting and then we drafting the positions. But some others are have more structure scheme when there is a council consisting of not only industry and academia as an expert, but involving consumer group. So they are involving in the process of the drafting codex positions. And the consumer is especially have concern for food labeling. Thank you.
We focus mostly on the Thai way of working, and it does sound that there are committees for each of the Codex committees. There are subcommittees within the country where you have the multi-stakeholder process, where you've got government there, you have industry, you have academics. So you've got the multi-stakeholder positions. People come together, represent their views. Whether it's for a draft, for say, it sounds like for the comments on the draft documents, but also when setting positions for the national position to take to committee meetings as well. There's an opportunity for providing input. So you do get the views, you do get multiple views there. And I will also give you the United States way of working. We have the way the US does it is basically invites comment throughout the year. We can request a hearing with the relevant agencies and in the country at any point in time, provide our concerns. They do a listening, kind of a listening process. The government doesn't feed back necessarily, but they hear what we are saying. And then there are formal meetings before every committee meeting, every Codex committee meeting or commission meeting, or whenever there's an electronic working group of note, of importance to the country, then there's a call for comments, and industry is invited among any other stakeholder who is interested in the Codex process. And we are able to provide our input, which may be taken up into the national position or comment.
I think that was very comprehensive, actually. Yeah, from our group from Japan, Philippines, and Sri Lanka, I think all of us, we have meetings just before and after the Codex committee meetings. And also these committee meetings, they will involve all the relevant stakeholders, which is the industry associations, the academia, and the consumer groups. And especially for Philippines, there's a full set of proceedings that will mirror the Codex committee meetings. Yeah.
According to your answer, I think no matter whether do you have a kind of more structured procedures or kind of platform or framework to kind of a kind of consultation or committee, no matter you have or not, there is a channel, there is a platform for you to communicate to, especially for the government agencies to listen to all the stakeholders like the industry, academia, and consumer groups. Yeah, that is the key idea I got from your answer. I think that is, well, that is pretty good because in every country, we are listening to the multi-stakeholders and they can provide inputs to prepare the national kind of positions, and that is really helpful. And the second question, that is the second section. Well, let me see, which group do you have the highest concentration of ASEAN countries? You cannot decide. Maybe we can start from ASEAN country itself.
In ASEAN, we have a forum called ASEAN Task Force on Codex. The forum is to provide a forum to discuss Codex issues and also to promote information sharing and transparency among the ASEAN member states. And we also formulate ASEAN position on Codex issues. And we met regularly every year prior to the commission session. And we also have a working mechanism that are under review now.
So any additional information other ASEAN member or your group would provide? We know that the ASEAN countries will have a kind of a committee or a task force, a consultation meeting every year prior to the commission to share the information and share the national positions and try to coordinate a little bit and try to come up with a more harmonized position. Any additional information you would like to provide our panelists? I would love.
In our team, there are some countries from ASEAN regions. They mentioned in their observation, they have a regional ASEAN Codex task forces, which actually their feelings. TFC support data sharing and ASEAN member states, and more engagement and coordination and communication should be focused on this matter.
And then if there's no, yeah, please.
In our group discussion, I am the only the ASEAN member country. All of my member are no ASEAN member. ASEAN task force involved Codex contact point ASEAN, sharing the country position on the Codex context. And what we should be considered for future is inclusion of the ASEAN industry contribution into that position.
Yeah, okay. So from my group, we have Singapore and Philippines that are represented on ASEAN. I think what Indonesia has said, we go to these meetings to develop a common position, and it is actually a very good platform to, let's say for Singapore, we want to push out our proposals. It's a good platform to engage the ASEAN countries earlier in the discussions. Yeah.
So were the other stakeholders invited to that platform or not?
I think only national codex, national focal point of the ASEAN will joining the ASEAN task force on the codex. Until now, I think I think until now we haven't involved the other stakeholders.
Yeah, but I think if let's say some of the observer organizations, the Codex observers, if they have any things to raise to ASEAN, they can actually reach out to the ASEAN Seki, the Secretariat, and then they can maybe put in a proposal for other business item.
Yes, that really makes sense because some of the associations they are working across the countries and they have kind of different information from different countries. Then that would be very helpful in preparing a harmonized position. And so that might be one suggestion for the kind of ASEAN plus X collaboration. So if there is any other suggestion you would like to make during your discussion to improve this mechanism of coordinating or collaboration, multi-stakeholder collaboration.
Our group has discussed that it is more benefit for us if ASEAN can collaborate with other countries, like maybe with Bangladesh and also with China to collaborate more before the Codex meeting, because sometimes we have also trade to their countries. So it is very useful if we can collaborate more as with our group discussion.
Beyond the ASEAN countries, we have some experience regarding useful practices and seeking and consolidating stakeholders engagement. So you will say there are some summit and workshop and colloquium frequently organized in the CC Asia regions, and which countries to discuss and share their views and experience just immediate before the Codex session, as well as some subsidiary committees meeting. So today we have to know that India is going to organize a global food regulator summit, which is an appreciable effort in this region. So this filtered wisdom may helpful in the future priorities and setting consensus on a particular emerging issues. So thank you.
I think this is also, well, the answer is also maybe to the next question, that is at the regional level, how can we do better in a better way? Because the Indian Summit, and we do have other kind of like forum, colloquium, symposium, webinar, seminar, a lot of meetings. So that are all the platforms where you can share the positions and to reach out to other member countries or the other stakeholders to provide more, to seek more comments and inputs from others. And well, at the regional level, do you have any other suggestion which can integrate more stakeholders or better, or maybe to build up a kind of mechanism for more engagement from the other stakeholders at the regional level?
This is just a thought that some of us have kind of bounced around. Is there a way for stakeholders to input how standards are actually implemented? I mean, it's great to get the proactive input and say, you know, do you think this standard would be technically feasible? But then once a standard has gone into effect in a region, for example, at a country level or at a regional level, can we talk about implementation and what has worked well and what hasn't, and from a stakeholder perspective as well as from a government perspective, what is working well and what could be improved, and what are learnings for maybe other countries or other regions? I know that this is an initiative at the Codex level to collect implementation data, but I think at the regional level, this would also be interesting information to know how it's going and what could be done to make standards more applicable or useful.
You're right, absolutely. A standard which cannot be implemented is not a standard. It's just a kind of document.
Right.
And any other kind of suggestion from our panelists?
Probably there are stakeholders that are still not aware of the Codex standard. They are not know what benefits they receive from the establishment of the Codex standard. So socializations is important when I think initial engagement from the start with stakeholders is something that we need to build from the initial step. Maybe perhaps starting with the drafting national regulations, we have close engagement with the stakeholder, and then we socialize that the Codex document is become our international reference for the establishment of our regulation.
Yeah, right. I think, and any other comments or suggestions? Then we move to the next. So according to your discussion, because in the guiding questions and the kind of idea of a multi stakeholder advisory commission mechanism for the region is mentioned several times. What do you think is feasible or is doable for us, for the region? the multi-stakeholder advisory mechanism. Do you think we can build up this kind of mechanism? Since we have so many stakeholders here at the as our audience, and I think the IUFOS has set up a very good example to invite all the stakeholders, the like government agency, the industry, and academia to come and to share our opinions on different cross-cutting issues and emerging topics. Do you think that we can have or build up this kind of multi-stakeholder advisory committee for the region?
Okay, our group have discussed it, and we think that multi-stakeholder advisory mechanism may be a little bit difficult, but we can make a information sharing platform like our previous discussion, and we think that will be useful for us if we have a sharing platform like for data and also for the position and. Yes.
Our group discussions that to ensure the regular and structured stakeholder inputs into CC Asia in the form of the roundtable discussions or dialogue or forum or that this will promote more industry participation, not only the government stakeholder and industry participation.
Particularly multi-stakeholder engagement, you can think at national level as well as global level. If we talk about the national level, you need to include all the interested stakeholders in your national Codex activities and Codex journeys. And on the other hand, you can connect with them as a national Codex contact point has some responsibility to connect the national level stakeholders and business communities as well as consumer association with the global level and forward them in the Codex technical matters. So good communication and coordination is required from the side of from the at the end of the national Codex contact point, as well as this they basically plays a role of coordinating the matters at national level as well as international level, the coordinator. So good.
Previously, the communication and the inclusiveness, the transparency is very important.
Yeah, yeah.
And in this process, the contact point or the national codex kind of framework can be very important in this process. And well, about the capacity building and transparency, how do you think CC Asia Forum can strengthen stakeholder understanding of Codex standards? And is there any tools which can facilitate their understanding? Because now we are talking about the industries they can contribute, they can provide information and data and some feedbacks of the implementation. And how can we do to improve their understanding or their use of the Codex standards?
CC Asia may plays a role of to engage more and more in the private sector as well as one of our observer organization faces included in their report. CC Asia may wish to hold separate session with Codex observer in preparatory meetings, as well as they can also extend more engagement and interaction with observer organization.
If I would like to invite to choose which tool do you think will be most feasible or most be effective or efficient, like the online platform or the seminar webinar?
Yeah. They describe multi-mode of coordination and communication level. Or it may be physical or virtual level. Both the ways comfortable.
Any other comments from the panelists?
For the mechanisms, I think we are okay with all three. But I think my personal point of view is if we have specific codex related agenda items that we need to go right deep into discussion, I think maybe roundtables would be good for more focused discussions among the members to really smoothen out the issues that are concerning them. Yeah.
Yeah, the roundtable discussion will be kind of most efficient and effective way for some specific agenda items, some topics. Yeah, I agree.
We also think that capacity building and training also very important for the CCSA member to help the understanding of Codex processes. And also we can also invite the stakeholders like the industry or from academia to join the Codex committee meeting. And then if CC Asia held the capacity building and training, the personnel that attend the capacity building or training should disseminate in the national level. So maybe the Codex contact point at the national level can help the capacity building also regularly to increase the understanding of the Codex processes.
Yeah, the roundtable discussion can ask them to input, and the current capacity buildings, training programs will facilitate their understanding of Codex.
Yes, capacity building is the important baseline for understanding of the subject matter or like that. So roundtable discussion or it can get input effectively and within the short period. Is it a correct way or right way? I think. And a regular training is also important. Some regulator didn't know the how to say the full contact material. It is this subject is new to some regulator, still new to some regulator. So regular training is also needed for capacity building. I think so.
Capacity building, I would say it's a continuous process. You need to consider all the times. But beyond the capacity building, if you address the increase of Codex participation, you need to assign and categorize all the responsibility. I would say it's start from personal level to national as well as regional and global level. So all the component, you cannot disregard one component. So if you want to think about the supply chain, you can start from personal realization and national level stakeholders. Interest is very much important. If there is any interested parties engaged with national Codex contact point, you can connect with the international level standardization. So they need to, first of all, the importance of the Codex. They need to know how Codex works and how they can engage with the international standardization process. So national Codex contact point may play a role to connect their interest at the global level. So that is a well-established and best practices and mechanism.
Contact point should play a key role in this process. Yes. Yeah, I agree.
I think it's helpful too, as we're talking about capacity building. I think there is some technical knowledge that industry and academics can also bring. So maybe even inviting us on key agenda items to present on our experience, whether our challenges or opportunities that we see, and the technical, kind of what we would need, I guess, from a standard to help support innovation or safe food production. But basically, where do our needs and opportunities and challenges meet those of the governments that we are trying to work within? I think that two-way conversation would be very helpful.
That can never be a one-way conversation. So the experience, knowledge from the industry, the stakeholders are really important in the capacity building. I agree. And please.
Okay. I agree. Suggesting about activity, it's not that maybe in several days you will do the technical meetings discussing about technical papers. You combine with the capacity building. So as a stakeholder, like on academia, consumer, or industry, they want to know what the benefits they will receive by this forum. So I think combine those two agenda will be a great platform. So they will bring home something that they as a takeaway. It's not about giving, but they can receive something from this forum.
Yeah, just like this forum, we all have something to take back home. Yeah, you're right. So, our next steps, will you suggest any priority areas maybe we mentioned in the forum, or maybe you have in your mind, which required immediate multitask engagement in the CC Asia and before the CC Asia 23 that is announced later, or before the CAC 48 in the mid-November? Will you suggest any next step we take to institutionalize structure stakeholder participation, from national level or the regional level?
From the last couple of discussion, we realize the novel food and food contact materials is maybe one or two priority agenda in the discussion paper and upcoming CC Asia as well as CAC 48 issues. And nutrition labeling also may be one possible options, might be an interesting and priority areas to discuss and standardize it in future work of standardization in the Codex structured and develop global consensus to publish a unified document on the three key areas.
We invite the stakeholders to contribute or to give their comments on those documents or not?
Yes, they are interested to work together in the interesting field.
Yeah, they can always help
Yes,
to prepare
definitely.
the national position on these issues.
Yes.
Sure.
Yes.
For the priority areas, our group have a different opinion. For Indonesia, our priority is contaminant, and for China, there are contaminant, labeling, food additive, and maybe food innovation. And for Malaysia, yes, also say that the priority is food additive and contaminant, and for Bangladesh, it's contaminant, nutrition labeling, and front pack labeling to implement the standard and guidance. I think all of us is have a different priority, but we can start with the multi-stakeholder participation. We can try consultation meeting and also webinar prior to the CAC meeting, so we can get input from the stakeholders to our region.
According to our group discussion, our prioritized area are food contact material, allergens, and nutritional labeling our priority area because each require immediate multi-stakeholder engagement in CC Asia and establish the multinational multi-stakeholder platform that ahead of the CC Asia 23 and CAT 48 and a structured regional mechanism to engage the industry, academia, and other stakeholders through national consultation and regional dialogue forum ahead of the CC Asia 23. That will ensure that Codex position on science-based, practical, and reflect regional innovation needs, its promotion, transparency, and inclusive decision making.
Okay, so from our table, actually, we also have ASEAN, we relating to the ASEAN positions. I think for the ASEAN region, Indonesia, like she mentioned, contaminants is quite a priority for them, and also for Thailand, it has a focus on pesticide residues, and also for Singapore on the new food sources and production systems, and that's specifically related to the cell-based foods.
I think in terms of the larger Codex discussion and looking at the topics that have been discussed in the last few years at the commission meeting and looking at priorities in the region, we see that, among our discussion, we see that this region has a lot of leadership in the innovation space. And so we think that this is an area where CC Asia is concerned, there to be an opportunity to develop a regional guidance on this. If Codex at an international level is not ready for this work, then there's an opportunity, I think, for CC Asia to take a leadership role. And then I think as part of that, where we see, companies, where we see industry and we see academics wanting to move ahead with innovation, but there's not the regulation around it, then there's an opportunity for us to come together in this multi-stakeholder process to discuss where we can meet and where we can co-develop a standard that will support innovation, but also smart innovation and well-regulated innovation.
Okay, from our discussion from table 2, we are suggesting as our priority to anticipate development science and food technology, we need guidance and standard as reference. So food innovations are become our prioritas. And then emerging issue in food safety is also very important. So we also prioritizing contaminant. And we in Asia countries, we also have not harmonized migration testing and gaps, especially in NIAS screening and risk assessment methods. So we propose FCM as our priority.
So from your answer, I see I can capture a lot of keywords for CC Asia region: the contaminants, food additive labeling, food contact materials, and food innovation. I think that is maybe a little bit specific to this region because regional members are really active in this area. And some of the panelists already suggested kind of webinar or kind of regional consultation or experts kind of or stakeholder inputs are necessary in addressing those issues, priority issues, or provide a more informative position from the national level or the regional level. Is there any other kind of mechanism or actions you would like to suggest the CC Asia to take before COP48? Because CC Asia 23 is really close to us. I think the forum is a good platform. It's a very good platform for us to share what we are interested in, what we are concerned about, and also about the next actions or the next steps we can take. Is there any other suggestion on the next steps before the COP48?
Regarding next steps, I would say participation is very much important in CC Asia as well as CAC48, upcoming CAC48 session. If we talk about the sustainable participation, we need to some investment involved in countries level. So individual country specific investment, and they set their focus on their as a priority agenda of the Codex activities. Most of the countries, you will say, if you talk about the CC Asia regions, we will find and there are 4 subsidiary bodies are hosting in the Asia, particularly Malaysia, India, as well as China, hosting 2 subsidiary bodies committees. So this is our strength. On the other hand, you will see there are some countries, series of meetings and activities, they are nearly absent, particularly including Bangladesh and other SAARC region and ASEAN regions, you will find. So I would say sustainable participation, and countries should take it very priority agenda to engage more and more in the Codex activities. So an investment and allocate their national budget also necessary in the to uphold their national position in the Codex activities. After that, they will get benefited from the Codex, because in Asia there are more than 50% people of the globe lives in this region, as well as most of the countries are agricultural based. So we have a very great potential to get benefited from the Codex, as well as we raise our voice, and we have an extreme interest. We can show our national challenges, as well as we can address our national issues at international level. We can get benefited to this.
Yes, I agree.
Sustainable participation. Sustainable participation.
Sustainable participation.
Sustainable participation
is really important.
Yes.
Not only for the government agencies, but also for all the stakeholders like industry. The sustainable participation and engagement, in-depth engagement are really
You will see
important.
in Asia region, there are imbalanced position. Some countries have very good achievement in Codex activities, but some countries you will say nearly absent in the Codex activities. So that is very unfortunate and unusual. So we need to get balanced positions
Think with the help
to work
from-
together
yeah,
and to move forward together. That is very much important.
with the help from the different stakeholders, yeah, we can
Exactly.
have a better or a stronger voice and
Yes.
well, better appearance or
Collaborative,
communication. Yeah,
collaborative effort. Yeah.
you're right. So let's well listen to the audience. Do you have any comments or any inputs according to the discussion just now up the stage well at the stage? Do you have any comments or inputs you would like to make? Or any comments from the online participants? Well, I think well done. Congratulations on very fruitful discussion. Thank you very much.
So congratulations on very great work. Yeah. So we will have the 15-minute break. So I think coffee and tea and snacks are prepared outside the room. So please relax. And after 15 minutes, please sit. So please be back to the room. Thank you very much. Okay, thank you.
Dear colleagues, our session is about to resume. We kindly invite you to return to your seats. Thank you. Dear colleagues, our session is about to resume. We kindly invite you to return to your seats. Thank you. Dear colleagues, our session is about to resume. We kindly invite you to return to your seats. Thank you.
Welcome to the 2025 Asia Codex and Food Regulatory Forum, in the heart of Asia, where a global conversation moves forward, where science meets policy, where innovation inspires new rules, and where the future of food regulation takes shape. From August 18th to 20th, Bangkok hosts the 2025 Asia Codex and Food Regulatory Forum. The forum aims to review outcomes from recent Codex committees, prepare for effective regional engagement at CAC 48, strategize future participation in Codex committees, advance regulatory transformation in support of food innovation, strengthen capacity in Codex and risk-based food control. Led by the International Union of Food Science and Technology, IUFOST, and the Global Food Regulatory Science Society, G-Force, in collaboration with the Food Innovation Regulatory Network, FERN, the Food Science and Technology Association of Thailand, FOSTAT, and the Federation of Institutes of Food Science and Technology in ASEAN, FIFSTA, and the National Bureau of Agricultural Commodity and Food Standards, ACFS, with Codex contact points and regulators across the Codex Coordinating Committee for Asia, CC Asia. This is a united regional vision for food safety, because food safety is people, it is protection, it is trust. 2025 Asia Codex and Food Regulatory Forum, Bangkok, August 18th to 20th. Shape the future.
So please return to the seat. Okay. Are you ready? Yeah, I think we are approaching the closing, but before that, yes, I'd like to summarize the 3-day forum. So as we come to the close of the 2025 Asia Codex and Food Regulatory Summit, so let me briefly recall the key message and recommendation that emerged from our intensive discussion. So over the past 3 days, so we welcomed active engagement from around 80 participants, representing 18 member countries across ASEAN members, including the national regulatory authorities, and from the organization which hosted this forum, thank you very much, and from Codex observers. Together, we reviewed important output from recent Codex committees and prepared for upcoming sessions. Yes, these are for the forum objectives. And yeah, we reviewed important output from recent Codex committees and prepared for upcoming Codex session. And also, we discussed a shared vision of agile and transparent and science-based regulatory pathway and the role of Codex for allergen labeling and food innovation, food contact materials, and ultra-processed food, and so on. So we also discussed stakeholder engagement and regional collaboration. We had very good panel discussion, good group discussion, and of course, and then we had a very good panel discussion. And so through 3-day intensive discussion, we reached consensus on the importance of regional collaboration and work sharing, as well as the need for capacity building, the stakeholder engagement, and aligned advocacy strategies. So we also emphasized the value of coordinated data collection on key issues such as aflatoxin and also arsenic. And we advanced our dialogue on definitions, classification, and regulatory implications related to novel food and food contact materials and ultra-processed food. So these are key recommendations of the forum. So looking forward, the forum recommends the continued regional coordination to strengthen our collective voice in Codex. And also, the forum highlighted the preparation of a CRD for CC Asia 23 to summarize our output and recommendation. And also, as a longer-term goal, the development of CC Asia guidelines on regulatory frameworks to oversee emerging areas of novelty. So that's all. Okay, so finally, I'd like to extend my sincere gratitude to each of you and your active participation and thoughtful contributions to, especially for the group discussion and the collaborative spirit made this forum truly meaningful. So I also wish to thank our host partners and the organizing team for their hard work and dedication in making this gathering possible. So it has been honor to work alongside you. So I trust that the dialogue and the partnership fostered here will continue to grow, and that together we will strengthen food safety and regulatory cooperation across our region. So thank you again for your active contribution to this forum, and I look forward to having very good discussion in the upcoming CC Asia 23 held in China. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair, for leading us through wonderful 3 days of deliberation. So once again, we thank you for your leadership, and we thank all the members of CC Asia and all the observers for their contribution. We arrive at the end of this meeting. Distinguished colleagues, delegates, esteemed partners, ladies and gentlemen, as we reach the end of the 2025 Asia Codex and Food Regulatory Forum, we are in fact celebrating the knowledge that we have shared, but also the various partnerships that have developed and have grown over these past decades. Our forum has truly embodied the spirit that we set for it and that you set for it yourselves, bridging science, innovation, and policy for safer food in Asia. And now, this afternoon, we will be honoring all those who made this journey possible. The yellow circle that you see over there has been, in fact, a symbol of unity. I know many of the pictures around it has a symbol. The symbol is our unity, our shared responsibility, and our continued cooperation. And through this ceremony, we will be of the circle to one of the partners that contributed to make this event possible as a mark of gratitude, as a mark of friendship, as a mark of trust. So we will begin with our first partner, our host country, the representative of the National Bureau of Agricultural Food Commodities and Food Standards of the Ministry of Agriculture and Cooperatives of Thailand. So I would like to invite the representative to join Dr. Pavani and myself in order to deliver you the logo and to take a picture together. So please will ask you to take a picture and then to stay on the stage subsequently. We would like also to acknowledge the leadership of our chairperson. This meeting would not have happened without the leadership, the commitment of the chairperson of CC Asia. May I invite Ms. Aya Nozawa to the stage. Thank you, Madam Chair, for your leadership. So thank you again, Madam Chair. I would like now to invite also our partners from Thailand, the partners of food science and technology. And I would like to invite the representative of the Food Science and Technology Association of Thailand, FOSTAT. Would like now to invite also the representative of the Federation of Institutes of Food Science and Technology of the ASEAN region, FIFSTA. We have enjoyed the contribution and the leadership of the representatives of the Food Innovation Regulations Network here based in Thailand. So I would like to invite the representative to join us. And of course, the two organizations that supported and made this event possible, I would like to acknowledge the International Union of Food Science and Technology, IOFOST. IOFOS's activities in food regulatory science are supported by its disciplinary group in this area, and that's the Global Food Regulatory Science Society, GFORCE. And I would like to invite the representative of GFORCE to join us. Thanks to the leadership of Professor Pavani Shinashwati, the president-elect of IOFOST. Now, I would like actually to take a collective picture of everybody to commemorate the closing of the 2025 Asia Codex and Food Regulatory Forum.
Together, you hold the circle of partnership, a circle that will guide us into the future of food safety, quality, and consumer protection across Asia. Please join me in a warm round of applause for our partners and friends. Thank you.
Now, on behalf of all those who made this event possible, it's time really to acknowledge all the people who are here, who are away, who have contributed in making this event possible. I would like to express my gratitude and my appreciation to all colleagues that made this possible. We would not have been able to organize this event in such a short period of time without the leadership of Professor Pavani Shinashwati. So please, a warm applause to Professor Pavani. The entire IOFOST and GForce team around the globe, the IOFOST team here in Thailand. So colleagues, thank you for your support. The GForce team, Dr. Amin Assouf, Dr. Eli Bouyazbek, Dr. Ruba Gusus, Ms. Naira Ahmed, Mr. Montasar Guider, Mr. Amir Ayadi, and the team in Cairo and in Korea. Thank you so much. To you, all members of CC Asia, we would not have been able to hold this event without your commitment to Codex and making this event truly a great experience of sharing and of collaboration. So thank you very much for your commitment. And the last word of closing goes to our president-elect of IOFOST, Professor Pavani Shinashwati.
Thank you, Sam. Thank you, everybody. As we close this year's forum, let us remember food safety has no borders. Our work is stronger when we stand together, when science informs policy, and when trust binds our nations. On behalf of the organization committee, thank you for your invaluable contributions. We wish you safe travels, continued collaboration, and we look forward to welcoming you again in the next edition of the Asia Codex and Food Regulatory Forum. The circle remains unbroken until we meet again. Good evening and thank you.